Jen, do you know why the hipster burnt his mouth?
No.
Because he ate the pizza before it was cool. That's on my toilet paper roll.
Is it?
Look at some of these jokes.
That's funny.
Some of them have nothing to do with toilet paper or pooping or number one, number two.
Oh. Hey everybody, welcome back to this episode of So Much JENergy. And the JENergy has been crazy this week. Not me, JENergy, but like just the energy of all of it has been kind of crazy.
It has. It does seem like it's been a chaotic week.
Kind of intense.
Yeah.
A lot of emotions running all over the place.
There is 100%.
Yeah. But I did want to share this with you. I wanted because this is a request from Madeline to make sure I tell you this. Speaking of poop, white dog shit is not going to be a thing in the future. So like when kids watch like Step Brothers and they're talking about the white dog shit.
Yeah.
Because they actually found out, did you notice like it's not a thing anymore? Like, did you ever notice there's not white dog crap anymore?
No, but it's funny you bring that up because I have heard somewhere that eventually there's no longer going to be white dog poop. And why is that?
Because your bright, shiny little nerdy niece wanted me to tell you that it's because that dog food producers, there's more stringent regulations on dog food now. And because the calcium was so high in the dog food before, that's what was making the dog shit white.
No doubt. And that's even in generic dog food as well?
Yeah, I believe so.
Nice.
Yeah, so good to know. No more white doggy duty.
It's about time. 2022.
Woo!
Get out of here with that poop.
Good times. Yes. I did want to share something funny that you're actually part of this week. So we have a family group chat that we've been chatting in, for a while now, but it's been about 6 weeks that we've talked about different things like, hey, what do you want to do for this outing? What about this? And yesterday you messaged me and said, hey, who's that other number in the family group chat?
Right. Since we've had this group chat, there's always, it's our names and then a phone number. And I thought maybe it's like Madeline got a new phone number or your sister or somebody, or like maybe, I don't know, Shannon or Josh, or it was somebody's phone number.
Yeah.
And then I noticed it's 248. And I'm like, well, who would she know? And so I asked you, whose number is in that group chat? Jen, whose number was in that group chat for the past 6 weeks?
I don't know. It's an old phone number. I thought it was our sister's phone number. It's not.
So somebody's just been in the chat for the past 6 weeks, and we don't even know them.
Some rando. I should have
renamed all the updates.
Rando in the message. Oh my God, too much. It was too much. It's too much. So yeah,
we've planned family events and things in the group chat. We've talked about a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, that's why when you were like, hey, whose number is that? And then when you get that like sinking feeling in your chest, like, oh no.
And you're like, oh, is that your sister's number or is that her old number? And I looked and I'm like, no, it's neither of those.
Yeah.
I thought it was Madeline's new number or maybe Josh or one of your friends.
And the crazy part is like, why didn't somebody ever say like, hey man, take me out of this group? Because I've messaged that number randomly thinking it was our sister's number. And
now they think you got a side conversation going with them. And they're like, oh man, I just bought this. It's probably
like an old burner phone or something.
I was trying to think of the burner phone. It's a burner, probably someone's burner phone. And they're like, shit, I got a bad burner phone. I'm just trying to get this for drug deals. These people are planning who knows what. What's all this cornhole talk?
Yeah, cornhole, Airbnbs and B&Bs, BRBs, ASS, whatever the hell.
BYOBs.
much. Too much. I couldn't even stop. Oh, so I deleted the number.
Yeah.
And then I asked your sister why wasn't she participating in our group?
She's like, she goes, no one ever messages me.
I thought she was just being like, I thought it was weird that she was not answering, especially when we're like, hey, what about this family function? No response. And I was like,
no, but then you're like, oh, who wants to come over for pizza? And she's like, I'm there. You're like, oh, well, you're.
Oh man.
Me.
So talk about crazy energy, right? Like pay attention to what is happening. I know I've been getting rid of a lot of things this past week, like deep cleaning people out, like out of social media. I've just been like
out of chats.
I'm getting out of like other groups that I've been a part of that I keep seeing their stuff. And you know how like it just doesn't resonate, but it takes up room in your life. I'm out of here. Get out of here with that.
Yeah.
Too much. Are you wearing a jacket?
No, cardigan.
Oh, you're fancy, Jeff Jones. You're JEPH today. I'm in Jeffrey.
My smoker's rug. No, I got home from work and I took off my crappy hoodie and needed something else to throw on to cover up the rest of me.
Oh, yeah.
This is what you get.
This looks like the top of your sleeping bag for your outdoor.
No,
background.
It's because I did the top button weird because if you look, you can see I got layer after layer of shirts on.
What do you got? Ketchup, mustard, and
no, this is a maroon sweatshirt and a high vis t-shirt.
Oh,
and an undershirt.
Looks bright yellow and bright red.
Well, that's why I did the top button up.
Got a hot dog.
Oh, let me go. Let it go. Let it go.
All right, Jeffy, you got anything fun from this week?
Nope. Later.
Bunch of clothes.
If we were on the phone, I'd have hung up right there.
Oh
yeah. Jen, this week, been planning my oldest kid's birthday party. He wants to have it at the roller rink. So we're having it at the roller rink.
Roll bounce.
Yep. So he invited mom, dad, your sister, her kids, his friends. He's getting them all. He's getting everyone together for a roller fest at the roller rink. So I've been planning that. He's psyched about that.
Does he know how to roller skate?
Yeah. Both my kids know how to roller skate. Pretty good.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's what he's excited to do also, to go there and just roller skate. But that's what he wanted to do for his birthday. So good for him.
All right. 17.
Yep. 17.
Good.
Living the dream.
Yeah.
Good years. I tell him you're in such the good years right now.
Right.
Especially when he's like right in the middle of bitching about something going on with his friends or whatever. Yeah. It's like, I remember when I had those problems.
Yeah.
I better go pay the cable bill now.
Right.
We don't even have cable. Cable guy. But nope. That was always a good time. Or that's been a good time.
Okay.
And then also the wife and kids found this show the other night, and we've watched a couple of them since. Have you seen these on Netflix? It's like a choose your own adventure cartoon.
No.
Yeah, they just showed it to me last night, and I guess when I got out of the shower, and they're like, or the wife was like, "Hey, hon, you got to see this." So I go out there, and I'm like, "What is it?" She's like, "Watch," and you're watching this cartoon, and it's almost like Hanna-Barbera looking.
Okay.
Like that era, and the one they had on at the time was called Cat Burglar, and I'm like, "What's this called?" And they're like, "Cat Burglar." I go, "That's it?" And I go, "All right." And there's like a generic version of like a droopy dog, but it's like different.
Yeah.
And there's this cat, and he's dressed like a burglar, and he's breaking into a museum to steal the paintings, but it's a choose your own adventure that you used your TV remote for, and it's on Netflix.
Okay.
And so like he's going across the power line, and you're like, it asks a question like, do you think the cat burglar should have? And then one option was like easy peasy. And the other option was like complication
station.
Something. And I'm like, well, complication, obviously, boom. And then you click that, and then there's like a bird that comes and messes with them, and he gets electrocuted, and then the bird cuts the wire, and he's holding the wires together. And like this whole thing ensues.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, do you think he should float, like the gist was like float safely to the ground or swing into the pole.
Yeah.
Then you're like, oh, safely to the ground. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, and he pulls out an umbrella and he goes all the way to the ground. And then you're like, It's just, but it's a whole choose your own adventure cartoon. And
That's
they're on
cool.
Netflix. And I guess my kid said he'd watch like 2 or 3 other ones a couple days ago and was telling us about them. But that's been pretty cool, I thought.
That is cool.
Yep. And then besides that, Griff and I got into a conversation the other day. We were in the kitchen. I was doing dishes. He was hanging out. And we got into a conversation about, I asked him, I go, do you hear like loud noises in your dreams? And he's like, no. And he's kind of looking at me like, why would I hear loud noises in my dreams? And he's like, I don't hear anything in dreams. I don't think people hear in their dreams. I don't think you can hear things. And I go, are you sure? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I don't think it works like that. And he kind of is looking at me like, why would I? You're ridiculous. Why are you bringing that? And I go, what do you mean? I go, I'm pretty sure you could hear in your dreams. And I don't know. So we got into this whole deep conversation about hearing. And I go, he's like, well, I had a nightmare dream last night. I go, let's hear about it. And I was hoping at some point I could tell him like, well, right there, the only way you knew that was happening because you heard it. And he was telling me about his dream, which was weird because he said he woke up and he was in his room and he looked out the window, but there was everything outside was white. And then he fell out the window into all of the whiteness. And then he was standing there. And then as he turned around, he was in the woods. And then he heard his ex-girlfriend's voice and he turned back around and he was in all white again. And when he turned to look her direction, he woke up. And so like nothing signified that he had any kind of hearing going on.
Yeah.
But I've had dreams, I'm 90% sure, where I have heard in the dream. Yeah. Like I had a nightmare the other day, jarred me awake at 2:30 in the morning.
Whoa, what happened?
Yeah. I don't even know. It wasn't even a nightmare so much as like a thriller as opposed to a horror.
Oh, do you know very intense?
Yeah. Do you know who Charlie Day is? Like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Yeah. All right. So in my dream, all right, Charlie Day, myself and Andrea, my wife, three of us were roommates. And all of a sudden the wife is like, hey, I'm heading to bed. I'm like, all right. And all of a sudden Charlie's like, hey, I got to go do some stuff. Do you want to go with me? And I go, not really. And he's like, come on. I go, nah. Next thing I know, I click over and him and I are in like a generic looking bread truck, like a box truck with the open back. And he's just talking and rambling the whole time. That's how I'm pretty sure I could hear, is because he just was going like talking. And all of a sudden he stops the truck. He's like, hold on, I got to go in here. And he backs the truck into a party store, like right through the front part of the store.
Oh,
and he gets out. And he's behind the truck and he opens up the back doors and he starts talking. He's like, hey, Jeff, this. And he's just throwing racks of like Hostess and Ding Dongs and Twinkies all in the back of the truck. But he never broke stride in what he was saying. And I'm sitting in the passenger seat and I'm like, oh, my God, we're going to get in trouble for this. Like, there's no way. I totally look like I'm a part of this. Like, I just was in the truck helping him do something. Like, I look totally suspect. And we're right in middle of day, right at a party store. There's cars driving in front of us. Like, we're right there. Yeah. All of a sudden he gets in the truck and he drives away. And I'm like, oh my God, like the cops are gonna, like, we totally just drove into that store and robbed it of Hostess. Fast forward, like, and my heart's racing. I'm like, there's cameras everywhere. People saw that. People called the cops about that. And like, I'm in the passenger seat. I'm 100% a part of this. And he's just like, yeah, you know this. And he's just going on like nothing. Click over. Now I'm getting out of the shower at home. And I have a towel on and I start coming down our steps. And all of a sudden I hear police sirens out front. And I'm like, oh my God, the bread truck. Like, and I think my reasoning in my head was, the whole reason was I jumped in the shower when we got home to make it look like, I'm in the shower. This is what's going on. But I clearly knew like they had cameras, people called. I was in the past. Like, no one's going to believe like, no, I wasn't a part of that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm leaning around the corner in my towel. And I see the siren lights through the blinds, like kind of as blurred lights through the blinds. And I see dark silhouettes starting to go across my window. And I'm like, oh no. And I look up the stairs, like, do I wake up the wife or do I just wait and see what happens? And as I turn back towards the door gets blown in, my front door. And then I woke up. But I was panicking. Because I was 100% sure, like, I'm getting pinched for this. And I didn't even get out of the truck. I didn't even want to go to begin with. That freaked me out though. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure most of that dream I could hear because Charlie Day just kept going and going, just nonstop. I don't know, but Griff wasn't.
Oh, go ahead.
Griff wasn't convinced that you could hear it all in your dreams.
Oh, well, I will tell you this. When we went to Chicago, I specifically remember hearing a dream or like having a dream. I fell asleep and there was like aliens coming, but I could hear the spaceships, but outside because we were close to the airport, I could hear the airplane coming and I said out loud, "Oh my God, the aliens are coming." But I was dreaming it, but I could physically hear the planes, but I said out loud. I think it's just when you're in between. My personal opinion is just when you're in between, I feel like you can hear. Like if you're in deep sleep, I don't know that you hear it. But I will tell you this, that I had a spiritual counselor tell me one time that I could stop myself, like when I'm too upset in my dream, to wake myself up, and I was like, yeah, right. And I've done it ever since then.
Really? You can just wake yourself up out of a dream that you no longer want to be in?
Yep. I tell myself this is not real, and I wake myself up. You should try it.
I don't know if I have that kind of awareness.
Well, just try it, because I was calling BS on her at the same time.
I have like 1 to 2 dreams or nightmares a year. That's it.
Oh, really?
Well, that I know of.
Yeah.
Probably like that Charlie Day one's first one I've had this year, and I couldn't tell you the last one I even had.
Yeah.
Like they're that few, but I looked up some stuff on dreams and nightmares, and they say you have like 5 to 7 a night.
Yeah.
And that 5 to 7 a night. Some people can have as many as 9. I think I've read somewhere, and that each out of the 5 to 7, let's say the average person has, each dream gets longer in sequence.
Okay.
Like the first dream they say you have is like super quick. The next one's a little bit longer. And the longest dream, because what was it? The longest dreams are like 20 to 30 minutes. Like when you fall asleep and it feels like it's taken all night.
Yeah.
It's the longest dreams, I believe, are like 20 to 30 minutes long.
Okay. Yeah,
Something like that.
Yeah, I found this. It says you can spend up to around 2 hours of dreaming every night. But that's because if it's in sequences
if
of
you're
like
having 5 to 7. Yeah, that would make sense. No doubt.
Yeah. But I will tell you this, when I wake myself up, I remember the dream more vivid than I do if I just wake up and then think about my dream, or have something trigger something that makes me think of my dream.
I don't think I could ever tell you a good dream I've had. Most of them are just like terrifying.
Oh,
do you know what I'm saying? Like the Charlie Day one, where I just felt like, oh my God, I'm going to jail the rest of my life. I robbed a party store, even though like I know I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And you wake up like, holy crap, what happened?
Well, I think it's like just unconscious things happening, because I usually don't ever have bad dreams. And 2 weeks ago, 5 nights in a row, I had terrible dreams every single night. And it was like everything that I'm fearful of. Same like you, like everything from like prison to like getting killed to everything. I mean, it was crazy, like 5 nights in a row.
No doubt.
Yeah. This has like dream recalling tips. Like, so if you wake up naturally without an alarm, like wait a few seconds to open your eyes, things like that. But now, I don't know. I've seen a lot of people in my dreams, like they're not alive. So I don't really think I would call that a dream, though. I'm pretty sure that's more like a visitation.
I will say this, that there are certain foods that'll cause like bad dreams. Like,
really?
And like if you, again, I looked this all up when I was looking up dream stuff like months and months ago.
Yeah.
But like food, I remember like cheese, horrible. If you eat a lot of cheese, especially right before bed, that's the most likely food to bring on bad dreams. Guess what? Like number 2 or 3 there is, Jen. Pickles.
Pickles?
Yep, pickles.
What?
Yep, they say cheese, spicy food, like spicy food, pizza.
Yeah.
Anything like that. If you eat any of that later in the day or in the night, like before going to bed, that will bring on bad dreams.
Oh, dang. Yeah.
Yep. Because I think I've looked up for some reason, and maybe it was one of the kids or something, like things that cause like nightmares.
Oh, yeah.
And food is one of them.
Oh my God.
That and
I wouldn't even have associated that.
Yep. Food is a big cause. And so is like just illness, like the flu Like that's if
like
you're coming down with something and you might not even be aware of it. But if you start having a lot of bad dreams, like in 2 or 3 nights in a row, you're probably coming down with something. Because at that point, it's probably not. If you're still eating that much cheese before bed,
something's wrong.
Something's up.
Your stomach is mad. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just real quick, I wanted to share with this is pretty interesting about dreaming, that blind people dream visually.
I had read that.
Yeah.
That even if, what was it? Even if they were born blind, they still see things in visions.
Yeah.
And people that had vision and then became blind, obviously they still dream in.
Yeah. This also says on this, I'm looking up like dream facts on this one blog.
Does it say what it means if Charlie Day is in it?
No, but it was saying that we can dream in black and white.
Huh.
Instead of color.
I
can tell you I've had like a lot of like crazy things happen in like meditation also, which is like where you're kind of in between. I don't know. I mean, I know that it's not like deep sleep.
Right.
But still. And then the other thing it says in here too is that well, everybody dreams, you just won't remember. Like not everybody remembers. And then the oh shoot, hang on. Oh, dreams help solve puzzles. So the conscious mind can grapple with complex issues, but dreaming can help resolve life issues. So that's why when the phrase sleep on it means giving your mind the opportunity to process issues in your dreamscape. Which, didn't you ever notice that? Like, do you find like, because I know we talked about like mindset and like you feeling safe and you have like the gatekeeper, right? Like right when you're about to fall asleep because you feel safe. Like that's when I write my funniest material.
No, I work a lot of stuff out like at that point.
Okay.
But I almost to the point like where I got too much going on that I'm thinking about, and now I find it hard to go to sleep. I would love to just lay there and like listen to white noise or something, if you know what I mean, which I've tried to do. It knocks me out too much. Like I even find like I don't even want to get up in the morning after I've zoned out that much. But then I lay there and start thinking of just other things, the next one, this to that. Now I'm just laying there like an hour later, now trying to figure out 6 different things instead of what I was doing.
Do you go to sleep quick?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. I'm out like the minute my head hits a pillow. I'm like that baby doll. It's like
your eyes close as your head tips back. Oh man.
Yeah. Oh man. And I make this noise. Like, I don't know. You make noises in your sleep? Like
yeah. The wife says I do. She says not like crazy loud or anything.
No.
But like,
yeah, but I make like I do that when I'm just about to fall asleep. Like I'll be asleep, like getting ready to sleep, and then that's how Josh knows I fell asleep on the couch, because it'll be like, I also laugh in my sleep. It's stupid.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, Jeffy, did you have anything else to add about dreams or nightmares?
No, that's, I mean, I'm sure I could sit here and talk to you for a while more about them, but.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about a booby rock of the week.
What do you got there, Jen?
All right. This week, so we were talking about dreams. So amethyst. I don't know if we've done amethyst before, but it's a gorgeous purple stone. And it guards against psychic attacks, just in case, that might be a thing. This stone is one of those like universal stones, but a few things I highlighted. Traditionally, it was worn to prevent drunkenness and has a sobering effect on overindulgence and physical passions, supporting sobriety.
Oh.
Yeah, it overcomes addictions and blockages of all kinds. It's used at a higher level, and it opens you up to new opportunities. It can help you to remember and understand dreams, and facilitates the visualization process, which is interesting because, stories, visualizing, like we see things in our mind's eye as a story.
Right.
It balances out highs and lows. Good thing for the 420s. And promoting emotional centering. It dispels. Oh, here you go. This will help. It dispels anger, rage. I don't know. I just think it's a funny word. Fear and anxiety. It alleviates sadness and grief, and it supports coming to terms with loss. So like just an overall great stone. So and it helps with dream analysis too. So yeah. And if you do have, there's so many dream things that you can look up, you know, so if you do have something funky in your life that you keep dreaming about or keep seeing, or what does that mean? Look it up.
Yep. And if you are suffering from like losing sleep, that was the only negative thing I remember finding out about like nightmares and dreams. Like, is there a negative effect to having them? And because your body, they're happening because there's still electricity going on up in your brain when you're doing things. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Even if you're sleeping. And really the only downfall to having them is that you will feel fatigued, less alert, things like that the next day because it's lost sleep.
Yeah.
You know?
I do sleep with the sound machine on though. I sleep with thunder on every night.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I do. But it super sucks when you work and then thunder is happening outside and you're like,
oh, I'm out.
Passing out trying to type. Like, oh no, go to sleep.
Oh, wow.
All right, Jeffy, do we have some new members this week?
Do we, Jen?
Do we? Yeah. Who you got?
Oh, you did send them to me. Let me pull them up here.
Okay.
All right. New members. Shout out.
All right. Ciao, ciao.
Carly. And Bobby and Gary. Gary. Bobby with an IE.
Bobby IE.
Yep. And then we have a sponsor, Jen, Kyle.
Yes, Kyle.
He didn't have anything to advertise a sponsorship for, but he wanted to give more than he could, so he did.
Right.
But he asked if we would leave a message so that he could. He asked if we would leave a message so that he could cut it out and use it for his voicemail.
Okay.
If we asked if we would leave a message.
Gotcha.
You want to? You want me to?
Well, why don't you do one and I'll do one?
All
and then he can pick which one he likes.
All right. I'll go first, give you a second to think about it.
All right, go ahead.
For Kyle's voicemail.
Yep.
Kyle. Hello, you've reached the voicemail of Kyle. He can't come to the phone right now. He's suffering from a UTI. Please call back later.
Wow, sucks for Kyle.
Yeah, you're going to get that, Kyle. Kyle's got a UTI. I don't even know where that come from. Isn't that a urinary tract infection?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's not good, Kyle.
Ooh,
Get that
hurts.
looked at. Get that looked at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for calling Kyle. He's busy right now. He's full of too much JENergy, and he has spontaneously combusted. So, feel free to leave a message. And if not, that's okay too. Bye.
Go, Kyle. Go. Nice. Thank you, Kyle, Carly, and Bobby and Gary. Bobby and Gary. Bobby, she's a down-home girl. Gary, he's a man of the city. Somehow it works. I don't even know if I'm not sure where they're from.
All right, Jeffy. So going back to Booby Rock, going back to dreams, just to kind of keep on that same momentum. Not necessarily on the UTI, STD, ASS, toilet paper jokes.
Okay.
Let's talk about some stories. I got a funny story I wrote for this episode this week. You got a story that you could share with people?
I do, Jen.
All right.
You want me to go first?
It's going to take me 50 minutes to get through mine.
All right, I'll go first. Now, I will say, Jen, when you said, hey, can you get a story? Do you have a story you could tell on the next show? I'm like, okay. Yeah, for sure. So I thought a lot about my life experiences,
yes,
and everything. And I thought, what's something that I haven't told very many people about that anybody, people probably wouldn't even know. Mm-hmm. And so I came up with some pretty good stories. And then you would ask me a question. You're like, hey, I think you said something about a Pegasus or a something.
Yeah, what do you call it? Yeah,
what's a name for
a unicorn?
Taurus. Oh yeah, a unicorn.
And you're like,
and I got me thinking, like, what story is she telling? So then I realized, Jen, we were making stories up, and I didn't know that, and I was not prepared. But fortunately, I got a buddy who writes a lot of monologues.
Okay.
So I chose one of my favorite pieces of him, written by J.L. Irwin.
Okay.
All right. This one's called "What Is This World Coming To?"
Okay. All right. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this story time by Jeff Jones.
Yep. I think it was around 10 in the morning. Yes, I'm sure of it because I saw Lorianne Margaret walking that beat up mangy poodle of hers. I avoided her because that woman will talk your ear off. You see, she always walks Hermes at the same time every day.
Hermes?
Which of course is when I go to get my mail. Hermes is the name of her dog. Hermes is the dog. Hang on. Hermes is the name of that dog of hers. And there's nothing Greek about that dog, let me tell you. Believe me, officer. Believe me, officer. She is. Hang on. You're going to have to cut these out.
It's okay.
Believe me, officer. She is in her own world and there's no getting her back. It's like a black hole surrounds her every waking step. It's weird. Oh, sorry. Anyways, as I crossed Lincoln Street, I saw a green Chevy truck racing down the road very irrationally. It was moving very fast and heading towards me. I made it to the sidewalk just in time. It raced past well over the posted speed limit on our streets. Police are never there when you need them, or so it seems. Anyway, driving this old rusty thing was Mitch Davis. And I thought that was strange because everyone knows the Davis family drives expensive European sports cars. It was also most definitely out of character for Mitch to be driving so ill-mannerly. At first, I thought I was seeing things, but I know I saw blood splattered all over the windshield. I'm sure Mitch was holding something in his hands. I guess it could have been an axe. I know that's what Cindy Harris said, but officer, she was fiddling with her stamps and that stupid blonde hair of hers. She needs to just cut that mess. Besides, I had a better angle from my viewpoint. And now, I was on the sidewalk right next to Willamette Avenue, which, as you know, is adjacent to the road next to the post office. I'm 100% sure that I seen a severed white arm in the left hand of Mitch Davis. God strike me down, officer. I swear on my father's grave, Mitch held a severed arm. He even, oh God, I think he took a nibble. Yes, I'm sure of this. What is this world coming to? Officer, I just hope Mitch Davis is all right. My God, I hope so. After he was out of view, I got my mail, went straight home and called the police. Of course, you already heard from Cindy Harris, that damn cell phone of hers. That's just like her to go and try to steal my thunder. What is this world coming to?
What is this world coming to? Woo! Good times. Thanks to J.L. Irwin. Good times.
Yep, good times.
When you're reading it, do you see it as you're reading it? Like, can you see the story as you're reading it too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I always can. I think so.
It's funny because you can imagine like this haggard like lady, like, you know what I mean? And like.
Yeah. And I like stories that are descriptive.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Jay, when he writes stuff, him and I both get descriptive, not just in usually like what's going on, but a lot of adjective word, mangy, things like that. Like that mangy hair of hers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. It's always a good time.
Yeah. All right. Are you ready for this?
I think so.
Oh my God. This has been cracking me up. I can't even tell you. Like, This is one of those, like, I was in the middle of writing this and I thought it was just so funny. I thought I was going to like have an aneurysm literally from laughing so hard. And I called that girl I work with to share it with her and she didn't answer. Yep. She's like, I can't talk right now. My daughter's reading me a book for her kindergarten.
Right, that's right.
Okay. All right. Here we go. All right.
I'm ready.
Okay. Come and listen to my story about a man named Jed. A poor mountaineer barely kept his family fed. Nope, just wrong story.
Oh my gosh. I was going to say, what's this guy out shooting for some food? All of a sudden up from the ground come a bubbling crude.
Oil.
That is. Well, next thing you know, Jed was a mountaineer.
God, move away let me tell Jeffy a story. Okay. So here we go. Okay.
I was on my seat for that one.
I know. You're like, I saw your face even like, what? Okay. So join me on this journey, okay? Reminiscent of an after school special. Okay. This is I'm gonna
Is there Quaaludes? Is there Quaaludes and barbiturates?
It's gonna feel like that, I hope. This is the story of a unicorn named Shelby and her friend, a beaver named Slap.
Slap?
Slap the beaver!
Wow, this is like a good children's book.
Okay. The unicorn. So Shelby, she was born small, kind of about 50 pounds. Okay. So most horses / unicorns born are 10% of their mother's weight. Did you know that?
Is that a real question?
That's for real. Yeah.
10%, a baby unicorn?
A baby horse is 10% of the mother's weight.
So you just assume unicorns are also?
Yeah.
Something tells me they're a little lighter than 50 pounds.
Well, so I mean, if the mom is 2,000 pounds, they're going to have a 200-pound foal, more like a fowl, like F.
Capital F.
So a baby unicorn, though, is called a shimmer or a sparkle.
Did you just make that up? No? Oh my gosh. All right.
See, so my story is learning also. So I'm teaching you at the same time. Okay. So Slap the beaver was born hairless. A baby beaver it's called a kit. K-I-T. A hairless kit. Looked more like an alien to the community since she had no hair. Okay. She was born early, so maybe her hair would come in later. I don't know. So Slap was off by herself, wandering around and found a small park. Shelby was with her family and wandered off to get a drink in the small stream. And while her head was down, her horn knob got stuck in the ground. Right? Because she's a unicorn, right? She forgot she had a little nub there. So when she pulled it out, it glowed. Ooh. Insert dramatic fairy sound here. So Slap saw her and said, "Wow, that's really pretty." And Shelby was embarrassed because she felt different and didn't know why. She couldn't see her horn to know it was glowing. So she bent down and asked Slap if she was a mole. Slap said, "No, I'm a beaver." Slap said, "I'm waiting for my coat to grow in. Maybe it's too warm right now." So after this meeting at the park, these two become best friends, okay? So Shelby would have Slap over to her part of the forest, and then Slap would have Shelby come over to her part of the forest. But Shelby didn't sleep in Slap's beaver den, right? She didn't fit in there. And then sometimes the glow of her unicorn horn would glow and attract more bugs.
Makes sense.
Right.
No one wants bugs by the bald beaver.
Yeah. But when Shelby and Slap went on nighttime adventures, Shelby's glowing horn made it easy to light the way in the forest. So they heard some commotion on the other side of the forest one day, laughing and cheering. Okay. Probably like you hear, like we hear all around us everywhere we walk in, right? Like,
mine's more like Atari. Atari crowd.
So Shelby had a saddle that Slap would use, like it would roll out like a ladder, so Slap could crawl up and get on there. So Slap was on Shelby, and they made their way over to the sounds and saw it was a carnival. And there were magical corn dogs, games, lots of people, creatures from the entire forest. One game caught Slap's eye. Okay, so she stood up on the saddle. And she saw hair. Okay, she just saw hair. So she screamed and told Shelby to head past the magical corn dogs and the swings over to the alley games. So she jumped off Shelby at a game called Win a Wig. So this Win a Wig game is hosted by Penny the Pig. Oh. Penny had on a wig. It was a pig wig. So to play, you had to play Duck Pond.
Yep.
And this is where you pick up a live duckling, and if it had a Sarah McLachlan ASPCA bracelet on its leg, you win.
So the chances of winning was in the arms of an angel.
Right. And Slap was so excited. She just knew she would win. So she paid the fee of 2 twigs and closed her eyes. Okay, she's not even playing the game yet. So she could imagine the winning duck in her mind. Okay, she's going to visualize which duck is the winner. And in her mind, she could see it had a light blue spot on the side of its feathers. So when she opened her eyes, she watched all the ducklings a little intensely, and she watched them swimming around, and she couldn't find the one with the blue on it. So then one turned, and it was just the smallest little blue spot on its little feathers there. It looked like it had been touched with like a ballpoint pen, like you could barely see it. So she picked it up, and on the leg was the ASPCA bracelet on its leg.
Nice Slap.
Cowbells, like bing, bing, bing. Penny the Pig starts yelling. Slap is screaming. Shelby's horn glow was super bright, shined a spotlight on Slap and Penny. So Penny told Slap to pick out a wig. Okay, there were long wigs and short wigs. There's mullets and curly ones.
She get a mohawk.
There were scrunchied ones and colored ones. So many to choose from. But by now, everyone had gathered to see the hairless beaver and her magical unicorn.
Naturally.
So, Slap closed her eyes again to make the best decision for her. She saw the exact one in her mind. It was a brown wig that had glitter in it. Okay. Oh. When she opened her eyes, she asked Penny if she had a wig that was shiny brown with glitter in it. She said yes, and it was under another wig. So she picked up the rainbow curly one, and there it was. The brown one was underneath. Everyone cheered as Slap the Beaver put on her new wig. It was a perfect fit, and the glitter shimmered from Shelby's horn glow. So Penny said, "Here's some glue for your beaver wig." It's Gorilla Glue. Slap said, "But I'm a beaver. Will it work?" Penny said, "Yes, if you never wanted to come off again." So Slap wasn't sure she wanted the wig on permanently, so she took the Gorilla Glue just in case. Like, what if she had a reaction? What if the glue burned her beaver skin? What if she didn't like it? What if she glued it sideways? Would it hurt when she slept? I mean, she just had too many questions, okay?
It's best just to hold on to it.
We're going to wait. Okay. So after Shelby and Slap left the duck pond game at the carnival. They're walking through the crowd, past the lemonade stand, and busting out through the circus tent, yelling, "Oh yeah, it's a Kool-Aid man."
Oh yeah.
He's a reporter for WFST, News Station of the Forest. He said, "Hey there, Slap. I heard you want a wig with some Gorilla Glue on the duck pond. How'd you do it? How'd you know which one to pick?" Slap said, "Well, I closed my eyes and I saw the winner in my mind." The Kool-Aid man laughed and said, "That's not possible. How do you really know which duck to pick?" And she said, "I trusted my instinct to pick the right one." And the Kool-Aid man laughed again and said, "Okay, there you have it. Someone's been drinking the Kool-Aid." So in the end, Slap decided to wear her wig without the Gorilla Glue and opened her beaver wig enterprise. Shelby went on to marry a Mustang and had magical Mustang baby. The Kool-Aid man met some weird guy named Jim Jones, and I don't think that went well.
It's quite the conclusion.
More like an "oh no" instead of a "oh yeah." And a few highlights to remember: if you're different when you're born, you'll find the right people to share your life with. Vibe with your own tribe. If your beaver is bald, flaunt it, or there's wigs. If you're a unicorn, let your horn shine bright. And in the end, Sarah McLachlan's commercials will haunt us all forever. And don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Nice.
Oh my God. Too much. Whew.
Oh.
Oh. All right, Jeffy. You want to do pep in your step or just call it?
Just call it. No, we got to do pep and step.
All right. Jeffy, you got pep in your step this week.
Bing, 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 bing. Jen, you know I do.
Okay.
I would think my pep in my step this week is that this semester, this whole school year, my oldest son, who plays guitar, has been taking guitar classes at school as well.
Okay.
They offer it for the junior and seniors.
Oh, sweet.
And so he signed up. He's like, "Oh, that's a good class." So he signed up for it. And now he's played guitar a few years already.
Okay.
But I have never been able to sell him on the acoustic guitar.
Oh, yeah.
So, but in school since last August or September when they started, they only use acoustic guitars.
Yeah.
And so he is actually taking this week a liking for the first time. He's like, "Dad, can I borrow one of your acoustic guitars?" I'm like, "Oh my God, what?" I go, "What for? What are you playing? What are you doing? You're just not gonna just smash it on something for the sake of doing." Or, he's like, "No, what the hell?"
Yeah.
And like since then, this whole week, now he's still working on his EP for Fog Dog, and now he's actually incorporated a handful of songs with the acoustic guitar into them.
Yeah.
And he's been playing other acoustic songs that I actually really enjoy.
Wow.
So that's been putting pep in my step. On top of that, a buddy of mine I reached out to see if he wanted to come to Griff's birthday party this weekend. Can't, because he actually, and it's a guy who I've played guitar and bass with handful of times. Just him and I get together and dick around. And this weekend, he can't come. He felt bad, but he's actually got a gig with a band at a bar. It's like his second or third time playing out in public live. And like the guy, he's a good guy. He's in his 50s.
Yeah.
He's been playing for probably 20, 30 years, but he's only played in front of people like 2 or 3 times.
Sure.
So that he can't go because that. So I was psyched for him. I've been pumped for him all week about that. And psyched that I get to hear the acoustic guitar occasionally coming out of my kids' room, which is a good time.
Nice.
So that's both of them situations, putting pep in my step this week.
Cool.
How about yourself?
Well, tomorrow I am taking another class. It's, remember Cindy Kaza that I told you about? That she's the psychic medium that I took her other classes, and then I was trying to get her on the podcast.
Right. Yep.
Yep, from the paranormal shows. Well, she
Yep.
put a post out that her mentor is actually doing a psychic class. So I'm going to take that tomorrow.
Oh, no doubt.
Yep.
Oh, that'd be a good time. Let me
Yeah.
know how that goes. Hit me back up. Take notes for that and report on that next episode.
I will.
I mean, I'm sure you can call and tell me about it, but other people might want to hear how that goes.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I know. So yeah, I'm excited about it. That's pep in the step this week.
Nice. Heck yeah.
Yes. All right, everybody.
Bing,
Good
bing.
times. Yes.
Yep.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
I
Keep
believe
an eye
in the
on your
next week
neighbors.
sometime, Jen. The next episode of Jeff and Iran is coming out. If you haven't already, go to somuchjenergy.com, click on the membership, try to get access, not try, but that'll get you access to the Jeff and Iran podcast. Next episode's coming out in about a week.
And P.S. When you're a member, you're going to be part of our game night that we're scheduling soon. So we're doing a So Much JENergy game night.
Yep, that'll be coming up here in the next week or so, week and a half, something like that.
Yeah.
But yep, excellent.
Okay, cool. Well, see you next week.
All right, Jen, thank you for having me. And remember, spay and neuter your pets.
Yeah, keep your feet on the ground, keep reaching for the stars. Check those numbers in your family chat.